afternoon, everyone. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was just waiting for the Black Dragon Society team to come in. If anyone's in from the team, just raise your hand and I can unmute you. We're getting started shortly, but just give it a couple of minutes, let everyone trickle in, and yeah.
We have Kira in here. Let's see.
Oh, Kira, yeah, I think it's part of the team. Hi, Kira. How's it going?
Hi, Glenn. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad. Just working.
Yeah. It's a tough job running a project and setting up projects, and yeah, been there, got the t-shirt. Well, not setting my own project up, just been a voice mod type thing. Long days. It was the days when everyone had to have a PC open 20 hours a day, otherwise the token started dumping. Last year. Right, we've got another minute. I'll give it another minute. Kira, let everyone come in. Is there anyone else speaking today, or is it just you?
It's just going to be me today, but the team's just going to be in the background.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, we're on the hour. If you're ready, Kira.
Yeah, all good to go. Let's do it.
I was just getting some feedback there. I'm not sure if it's your mic, Kira. Maybe when I'm speaking, mute your mic and then I'll mute mine. But it was just coming back through the headset, but should be fine. Welcome to the WorldCoin Talk community. I'm Glenn, your host. Today we have joining us the Black Dragon Society project. Speaking for the project here is Kira. We'll go into the project shortly. But first, can you give us your background and experience, Kira, and the core team's background?
Sure. So I personally am experienced building startups. I'm actually running one at the moment, besides amongst other things. I've got specifics in business development and strategy, and also I dabble in other interest, mathematics, computer science, philosophy, and so many other things. The team, I know Big O is experienced in project management. We've got digital artists on the team. We've got professional crypto raiders on the team. We've got Krakens, it's got the connections that, gets us where we are. So the team's, is quite diverse and has lots of complementary skills.
Okay, great, Kira. Thanks for the introduction. Maybe you can, the community investors, give us an introduction to the Black Dragon Society project. That'd be great.
Yeah, so the Black Dragon Society. So I came in as an investor, I believe, December 6th. It was, the charts were going off, millions in volume. We reached 1.6 market cap in 2 days. But the point is, the community was strong, things were going well. And then, like the usual story in crypto, Rogue Mog, funded the chat, blah, blah, blah. There was distrust, there was a bit of fear, doubt. So Big O stepped up. He rounded people up. I realized that there was something here in terms of the community. So I wrote down in like a really quick document on branding and whatnot, and I sent it to him and I said, we could start off with this. We could reposition ourselves from what just happened. We can actually look at it as a blessing as well. And so we put people together, all community volunteers, nobody's getting paid. This is how we came about. It's only been, I suppose, maybe about 10, 12 days now, but we've done so much. That's a bit of history.
Okay, great, Kira. And is it based on Black Dragon Society? It's a non-fictional Japanese secret society or secret service that was founded in 1901. Is that what the founders were looking at?
Right. Yeah. I won't say it's based on it, but we sort of took that on, and we decided to give it a little sort of branding twist. But yes, we're not really a secret society. No, we're simply an open community, actually, quite open, and we can get it. I talk about how much open, how we are, how much open we are. But we took on the Black Dragon Society, and we decided to focus on the mind. So, the minds of people, because this is where everything in your life is determined, right? It comes from your mind. So we decided to, focus on the mind, and which we'll get into details as we talk more. And but we're not a secret society as the initial Black Dragon Society in Japan, 1901.
Awesome. Everyone's welcome. There was also a DC Comics when I was looking back at the Black Dragon Society. So there's a sort of comic aspect there. You could maybe do NFTs or a comic series in the future. But let's go into the DAO. You've got have the community. They're going to have voting rights, and what sort of DAO is being set up. Is it based on how many tokens you hold to how many voting rights you'll have?
Yeah. So I just finished the first draft of the Taisho yesterday. We call our DAO the Taisho. Again, it's that Japanese theme. The Taisho era in Japan was, I believe, just a quick bit of history, 1913, I believe, to 1925. Anyways, it was the first sort of major move towards democratic and liberal political systems. So we called it the Taisho for that reason, and it's a sick name, we think. But so the Taisho essentially would work this way so far from the rough draft. We don't want to get into too much details, but I'll give you a bit overview. So there are two types of people in the Taisho. There are anchors. Anybody can be an anchor, and voters. Anybody can be a voter. So anchors put in proposals based on a category, and we can get into that. You put in a proposal, but to put in a proposal, you need to, as an anchor, you need to have you need to commit 15% of your BDS tokens. You need to have held BDS for the last 6 months, and you need to what's the last bit? Yeah, and you need to hold an average number of BDS tokens as per the number of holders. So that would be at that moment in time as an anchor. And as a voter, all you simply have to do is commit 15% of your BDS tokens. I'll stop there, and if you've got any more clarifications, we can get into more detail.
Okay, that's great. No, but going back to before, you were mentioning, you're sort of building a community around the mind and maybe Buddhist spiritual sort of aspects. Could we go into that?
Yes. So our first, this is our first we call it chapter in the journey is we call it Kinyu no Chen, which is financial wisdom. And what we're doing here is we're trying to get the community or new entrants into the community to see value in the decentralized ethos of communities, which would set the stage for every other utility that we can, we're going to spin up. The reason is, we can literally just launch the Taisho in the next, in the next few weeks. It's really not that difficult to do, but we find that at least in my experience as a crypto investor, most people don't really care about the utilities. They don't really see the implications of the utilities. They just want to put in their money and hopefully make $1 million. So this money making machine, give me $1 million, right? So we decided to focus on the mind through just community engagement, community oneness. We had a meme contest yesterday. We're working on a mini game as well. This has absolutely nothing to do with the metaverse / play to earn game we have in mind. So yeah, it's just having people relaxed and not focused on the chat. We haven't had a when this or when that in our chats in the last few days, which shows that people are really focused on the community engagement.
Okay, that's great, Kira. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in all sorts of different subjects and everything, and the mind's very important, for life and life experiences. We grow up. I'm 48 now, so been around a long time, and you sort of mature and change as you go along through life. So it's definitely fascinating subjects to talk about. But you were mentioning the the Satoshi side that's going to come in the white paper. I'm wondering what sort of timeline there is to the details on that.
Yes, so we don't want to put timelines in, not because we're afraid of commitment or anything. More so, people start to. It all comes back to that mind aspect. People start to have these expectations. It becomes more like a pseudo traditional company where it's like, okay, we're going to do XYZ, and then XYZ doesn't occur at the said time, and people ask when XYZ, right? So we have a timeline for deploying the Taisho, but we would rather keep that within the team as opposed to have that on the website and all. But primarily the focus is the community building, and then we can start launching the utilities, and and we can get more into the utilities because we haven't even really talked about that much. But yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you've got the Coots, probably butcher the word, the Kootsu P2E game with the metaverse theme. I'm wondering what the game mechanics are planned and the details around the P2E game.
Yeah, so after the Thai show, we would move on. Again, depends on how strong the community is. We would move on to the third stage, which we call ante, which means stability. This is the stage where we build. And so we would build a metaverse / P2E game. Now, the metaverse game it's not a game, it's more like a social, well, I'll get into the specifics for now. Metaverse / P2E game. The metaverse aspect would be the free to roam aspect of the entire ecosystem, and the P2E game would be the adventure mode. So the metaverse, the idea, the point behind the metaverse is to have a decentralized economic system, a system that is not, because the current economic system of every world power is centralized. Every world power has a central bank. Every world power has sort of like banks who get prime rates from the central bank, and then loan you practice fractional reserve banking and so on and so forth. The point with the metaverse is to have a free world where you as a creator can have your own e-commerce shop or any other sort of services that are performed in traditional on platforms, like for example Amazon. We would be the Amazon, but for housing Amazon, the Nikes, the Adidas, and all these other brands, right? So you can go in there and you can actually shop things, get buy things, and get delivered to your address. That's the idea behind the metaverse themed ecosystem. The Thai show would govern that. See, this is where the Thai show also comes in. So it's not this isolated system. It would also be the governing body for everything, involving Black Dragon Society and the metaverse. Now, the P2E game, the details of how the adventure mode and the stories we haven't really gotten into, but that wouldn't be really difficult. But the P2E game, you would well, I'll stop here and we can get into the tokens. I don't want to get into information overload, but yeah.
Okay, great. And yeah, I was wondering, there seems to be a lot of graphical theme around the project. If you're looking to do an NFT series based on some of what I've looked at in the project.
Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have NFTs around this stage as well. So I suppose I should talk about the tokens. So BDS would have they're going to be 3 tokens. The first is already BDS. It's deflationary. It would be exclusively used to purchase NFTs, which would be used to play the games and enter the metaverse world exclusively. You can't use anything other than BDS tokens. The second utility of BDS tokens is the Taisho. You can't use any other thing to vote other than BDS when you or propose other than the BDS tokens. The next token we would this is where we would fundraise would be excuse me, flames. Flames would be used to purchase land in the metaverse and trade land in the metaverse themed ecosystem. Flames would also be used to create worlds. And what we mean by that is, it's back to the thing. If you're a business owner, small business owner, you can create a little, perhaps you sell sneakers, and create a little marketplace where you actually have your sneakers, and it's not in, it would actually take you to the actual, online store, and you can have people shop there and get it delivered. So you can use Flames to create worlds. And finally, the third token is scales. Scales would be used to, you need to purchase scales to play the P2E game. Scales gives you sustainability, another way of saying energy. As you play through the game, your energy decreases and you need more scales. Scales would be inflationary, flames would be fixed, and one more thing, yes, in the P2E game, you stand the chance of earning flames. So yeah, these three tokens have all different functionalities. So there is no, it does, so even if you're a big holder of one, you can't influence the other, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so.
Okay, great. So you've got the BDS token now, and there's going to be a Flames token and a Scales token in the future. Is there like a timeline for when the second and the third token come out? And can we go into the tokenomics of the BDS token?
So Flames would potentially be out once we've got, although we kind of have it partially done already, once we have the full plan for the metaverse and P2E game. Flames, it's easy to draft with the tokenomics and how it would work. But that's around that timeline. Again, we do have that timeline, but we don't want to put that into the public simply because of expectations, and community engagement sort of drops because there is this idea that, oh, the team has it figured out, or the team is going to get us there, right? But yeah, I think you asked one more question. I'm not sure if I got that right.
Yeah, the breakdown of the tokenomics for the BDS token.
Oh yes. So BDS token has 100 million, billion in supply. It has an auto burn function, which if I've got my tech details right, it burns the same amount regardless of the volume, and it so far it's burned about 8% in the last, we launched December 6th, so 21. What is that? In the last 15 days. So it's burned approximately 10% in the last 15 days. So in about 30 days, I think another 10% has got, gone, and so on and so forth. Max wallets are 3% for the token. We have also applied to Certic for an audit. And what else am I missing? I think those are the major components of the tokenomics for BDS.
Great, Kira. And going back to the DAO, what's the timeline for the DAO being launched? I was reading as well.
I forgot to mention, sorry, zero tax. We have no taxes, no marketing wallets, no team wallets for BDS tokens. Sorry.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so going back to the DAO, yeah, there's 15% of the voters BDS is going to be held in an escrow for 3 months. I was reading there. Can we go into the details around that?
Yes. So yeah, so the DAO, the Taisho would hold. So when you vote, assuming the proposal is we would like to launch a new product called X, and the votes are 51% for X and 51% for yes and 49% for no. Those who account for the 51% vote would have their tokens locked up for 3 months after the vote. This is simply to, because every design we have in place has a cost benefit approach to it. If you want to design a system that's long-term and functional, you need to have a cost benefit sort of approach such that the benefits outweigh the cost, at least in the long term. It's kind of like how Bitcoin was designed. But so yeah, you would have your tokens locked in escrow for 3 months. This is to simply stop people who aren't who haven't held BDS to just purchase BDS today, where the proposal is going to be held, and vote to influence the proposals and then sell BDS, right? And it's to stop that from happening. And so it'd be locked for 3 months until the next Taisho round. The Taisho will be open 4 times a year, so it accepts proposals 4 times a year. That's what I mean by open. Nobody controls it. It would accept proposals 4 times a year, once every quarter, and whatever majority accounts for a proposal, their tokens would be locked, even if it's a yes or no for the proposal.
Okay, great. And is there any plans to have staking involved, or will that come with the second or third token in the ecosystem?
Yes, actually, we would have staking involved in the Taisho, but I would like it to be, I don't want it to be generic, stake this, get that, and it's just like short-term thinking. So I haven't actually included that in the draft, but I've considered that, but I haven't included that in the draft. I needed to really think about that before, but I think we would most likely have staking to also, reward long-term holders of BDS as well. But it would be a bit different from the because I like to do things differently. It'd be a bit different from the usual staking platforms we see.
I see, Kira. I think El Draz had his hand up, so I've just unmuted him if he wants to, if he's part of the team or wanted to add anything as we go along. So have you had an audit on the smart contract as well?
Yeah, we applied for a CertiK yesterday, actually. But the tokens were announced. The LP is locked for 200 years. It's 0 tax. We have no team wallets, no marketing wallets. So everything we do is from our personal pockets and our personal time. But we have also applied for a CertiK audit, so.
I see. And with it being 0 tax, yeah, so you're having to fund like the marketing and everything at the moment, but obviously with the second and third token launch, then there would maybe taxes involved with them too, so that can build up for marketing and the making of the P2E game.
Right. We haven't considered putting taxes on the tokens for Flame and Scales. We might most likely leave it at 0 tax, but I don't want to speak on that because that's still, far into the future. But we might do that, but I don't want to. It's not definitive. I need to consult with the team and see what they think, and yeah.
Okay, fair enough, Garrett. And what's the marketing plans going forward? Say over the next quarter, what are you planning to get the Black Dragon Society name out there and building the P2E game?
So our first strategy was to get our presence. Our presence consist lack of a better term, stabilized on social media channels. So we created new social media accounts, got the messaging. Although I will say our website is not the final product. That is just a quick, it's just a quick thing to get, people to engage. We actually designed a template this morning for the new website and how it should be, how it should look, and messages should communicate. But the marketing plan moving forward is we're going to have a marketing push focusing on crypto sort of sites where investors visit, sort of showcasing BDS as a contributors sort of a community, as opposed to buy this token and do 10x. We're more focused on join us and contribute, and just enjoy the space. Yeah, so I would draw. We've already had our first marketing sort of push this week, which is calls, AMAs, tweets. We had the first vision out. The next push I haven't drafted for next week, but I have a very because I work really quick on the go. So, but I have a very good understanding of where we're going to head to.
Are you there, Kira?
Yeah,
you were muted.
I just. Can you hear me?
Hear you, Kira? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just finished up.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I just heard something at the end and then it cut off for me. But let's move to community investor questions. But I was also wondering before we go to that, how are you sort of interacting with the community? Is it mainly in Telegram? Do you have VC chats, around topics that interest you in the community?
Right. Yeah. So we have VC chats every day. Yeah, we've had VC chats since we took over. As the new team every day, sort of informing the community what we're doing. We have a shill army that engages Twitter through meme contest, who I believe is wisest meme contests. You make a meme with a sort of wise theme to it, like patience is, so to engage and trigger thought provoking questions. But we generally have VCs every day in the community chat, about 15 minutes long, open for any questions, open for any contributors. Yeah, that's how we engage so far.
Okay.
Okay.
Kira. Let's see. Cyan, you had a question for Kira at Black Dragon Society. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Tian. Have few questions. So you are planning on implementing DAO governance. So I was wondering, what governance model will you be adopting? Will it be hybrid governance model, which combines the effectiveness of board of directors with the community voting?
Sorry, could you repeat that? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Yeah, sure. I can repeat it. So as you will going to have the DAO governance, so I was wondering what governance model will you be adopting? Will it be a hybrid governance model which combines the effectiveness of the board of the directors with the community voting?
Yeah, no. So we're going to incorporate an anonymous, decentralized model as opposed to a delegated model. Because we want it to be purely, majorities, influence. We don't want, because once you have a board of directors and then you have things like, virtual lobbying, right? Like you just text your buddy and this and that, you're more open to that. It doesn't mean that you're not open to that anonymously, but you're less, it's less prone to happen. But yeah, we would incorporate a very, the old plain simplistic anonymous DAO model where you have no delegators/directors.
Okay, understood. Okay, it's mentioned on your white paper that users have to commit 15% of their BDS tokens, which will be locked in the escrow contract for 3 months. So I was thinking that as every investor has to commit 15% of the BDS token, will all the investors going to have the same voting power, or depending on the total amount of the BDS token held, investors will going to have different voting power and also be able to propose more proposals?
That's a very good question. So the 15% is simply it's simply to, because if I said to you, okay, you have and you have an infinite number of wishes versus you have a finite number of wishes. If you had an infinite number of wishes, like a rational agent wouldn't care about the consequences of the current wish, because there's one after this one and there's one after that one and so on and so forth. But if you gave a rational agent 3 wishes, there's a constraint, meaning you max out of 3. So there is a consequence for every wish, and you don't go on indefinitely. So the point is, the 15% is to sort of make you think twice before you vote or even pass a proposal. So it doesn't matter how much you hold as a voter, that is. It doesn't matter how much you hold as a proposer, as an anchor, sorry. But it doesn't matter how much you hold as a voter. The 15% goes in first, and then you sort of like go through the catalogs of, depending on the category, and you vote. And by the way, that's not the white paper. That's just the vision. The white paper is going to be a bit more technical. The vision is just that's just the vision. But did I answer your question? If I didn't, you can just reiterate. But
Yeah, you have cleared that up.
okay, sweet, thanks.
Okay, yeah, moving to my next question. So I was also thinking that where will the voting process take place? Will you be developing your own voting platform, or it will be on any third party voting platform? How will that going to work?
It would be so the Taisha would be a hybrid between a decentralized application and a DAO. So it would exist as a smart contract or as a decentralized application on Ethereum. The reason it's a hybrid in between is it wouldn't have an internal capital. Every DAO, to be a DAO, you need to have internal capital first. So the treasury. So we wouldn't have internal capital initially until we have plans to fund the internal capital, and then it's owned by the community. But to answer the question, it would be built as a decentralized application with internal capital requirements embedded.
Understood. Okay, so on your Medium page, it's mentioned that there is a cost-benefit relationship in the decision-making process regarding DAO. So can you explain how will cost-benefit relationship going to work in the decision-making process?
So it depends on who you're like on what tier of governance you're looking into. So there are two types of people for every proposal. There is an anchor and there is a voter, and there are voters. Anchors, you can only have one anchor per proposal. And as an anchor, you can't send two proposals in the same time. So perhaps, for example, today's for lack of a better term, proposal day. I want to be an anchor. I can only, put in one proposal. I can't go one proposal and another proposal. So that's one. Secondly, there's the voters. So those who vote yes or no, nay or yay for proposals. The requirements are different. For anchors, to pass a proposal, you must hold an average number of tokens held at the moment that you pass a proposal. So, for example, if there are 10,000 BDS holders, if you took the average number of holdings for 10,000 BDS holders, you need to hold at least the average number of holdings as an anchor to pass a proposal. So this stops somebody from like purchasing $1 worth of BDS and then going on to pass a proposal, right? The next step is as a proposer, you need to commit 15% as we spoke, and you need to have held BDS for 6 months. This again stops somebody from just purchasing BDS today and going off to, initialize a proposal. And then when we move to the voters, for voters, you must have held BDS in the last 6 months. I actually missed that. Sorry, I'm just looking at that in the white paper draft I wrote yesterday. You must have held BDS in the last 6 months, and you must commit 15%. So again, the same reasoning stops people from purchasing BDS today and voting today and selling today. That's the idea behind it. So the cost is you have to have held patience, if you may. And the other cost is you're giving up a percentage of your holdings over, the time frame of 3 months. Anything can happen in 3 months. Bitcoin could, depending on the cycle, obviously, but Bitcoin could, have a low price correction. And we don't want people, just selling BDS after a proposal has been passed, right? So those are the costs. The benefit is the value from the proposal. And there's so much more we can, put into the Taisha, but it's the value from the proposal. So you must have, it forces you to understand the value the proposal, will generate in the future. And then you say, okay, the value is worth, just, giving off 15% for 3 months and I get it back. That's the idea.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Okay, so I was also wondering, is the contract renounced? And if it is renounced, don't you think that it can make difficult for you to make improvements in the contract by updating it in the future?
Well, the contract was renounced. I wasn't in the team. I was just an investor, so I didn't have a say in that. But I don't think so. I think maybe it might have an issue. This is why I thought about the staking, and I was, I sort of tabled that to the side. It might have an issue with staking, but not with the way the Taisho is set up, because the Taisho is like a decentralized application. It just holds your BDS in smart contract for 3 months and then gives it back to you, right? So it's kind of like staking your own tokens, but with no profits or anything. So it wouldn't have any issues in terms of the design of the Taisho, but it might have. Again, I'm not a computer scientist. I'm sure there are ways around it in terms of staking, but in terms of the fundamental design of the Taisho, I don't think it would have any issues.
Understood. Okay, so what changes have you made after taking over the project? It's only regarding the brand, or what changes have you come up with?
So the changes are the direction, of course, the brand, but the direction of the project. The idea is reality exists in your mind, and I truly believe this too. And you can spin off your reality from the ideas circulating in your mind. I mean, take whatever device you're using to communicate with me, for example. 5,000 years ago, the ancient Egyptians couldn't even dream of this, right? So the question is, like, did the phone, did the device you have in your hand exist or not? Well, the answer is both. And this is the idea we're trying to sort of, this is the I suppose the narrative we're sort of trying to get to is you can actually create your world. This is how we lead into the Taisho, which lets people decide for themselves. How we lead into the metaverse, which lets people, have engage in a decentralized economy. This is, so this is sort of the direction that we're headed. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it's a great philosophy. Thank you so much for answering. Over to you, Glenn.
The question, Sayed. Yeah, I mean, the mind is very powerful. Like you say, Kira, I remember, I've read stories of a guy who lifted a car with a woman trapped underneath it, and it's not physically possible with scientific sort of the rules of a normal man that's not that strong being able to lift a car, but in that sort of split moment, he was able to do it and rescue the person underneath the car. So that's very interesting. But going back to this Tashao, I was just reading up, it was quite interesting. It translates as a great prevalence is achieved through rectitude, and this is the Tao of heaven. And the term can be roughly understood as meaning great rectitude or great righteousness. So I was wondering if we can go into more details of what's planned around this Tashao and how it's sort of going to evolve.
What's planned around the Taisho? Is that what you said? Sorry, I didn't get that last bit.
Yeah. Is there any more details about what's going to happen with the white paper and the Tashao?
Yeah. So I really, because this is the thing, it can be easily I find there's lots of copycats in the space, right? Like you just spin off something and before you know it, like somebody's got something ready to go, right? It all that matters with ideas is, do you have access to resources? Bill Gates can simply spin this off in 2 days, right? So but in terms of the release of the white paper of the Taisho, we would rather release the white paper once we have the actual application ready to go. So maybe release the white paper today and application is out in a day or two. Simply because if the white paper is out there, then it's simply just free information to go and actually develop the Taisho, and somebody can just go, develop it, right? And that, and then we're left in the dust. So, it's best to keep things close to our chest for now. And as we progress further, we would release things in full detail.
Fair enough, Kira. Let's move on to another community investor question. Let's see, Aisha, you had a question, Kira, at Black Dragon Society. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. So I can see on your Medium page that you are planning on developing play to earn game with metaverse theme. Is your own team developing the metaverse, or it is outsourced, or you will be getting land in Sandbox or Decentraland for creating your virtual space?
It will be outsourced. Or if we have, it will be outsourced because by then we would raise the funds to do that. That's the goal. However, if we do have a team who would like to volunteer and to develop that, that's also fine. But it's most likely going to be outsourced to a game development community company, or but yeah, most likely outsourced because we would have the funds by then.
Understood. I also want to know that with which VR headsets will the game or metaverse going to be compatible with?
Ah, yeah. So this is the common like misconceptions of metaverses. You don't need to have like a V. I think that's an augmented reality or something else. That's not so metaverses are essentially, arguably, this is a metaverse, right? I exist as Kira in this metaverse. But no, we won't have any VR headsets or any of that stuff. It's simply just if you go on this will probably illustrate it a bit better. If you go on if you ever have the time, go see the anime Summer Wars. That's where the inspiration came to me about a year ago. We won't have any headsets or any hardware because development of hardware take a long time. You see this Facebook's having a hard time because of that. But no, we won't have any hardware. We would simply have uh, uh, we would simply live as Decentraland lives on the blockchain. So Doge is the name of the Doge. I can't pronounce that, sorry, but Doge is the name of the metaverse slash play to earn game, which means cavern. So yeah, it would simply live as an application on the blockchain with no headsets. You simply engage by connecting your wallet, and again, this is all fund. This particular bit is all like generic. We could change it up, but yeah. So that's
All right, it makes me clear now. Okay, as I also read on your Medium page that players will be able to enter metaverse with their avatar. I was wondering, will avatar be in NFT form, or will users be able to customize their avatar NFT?
See, I've thought about that too. Avatars will be in NFT forms. Now, would they be able to customize? That would require some kind of game marketplace inventory where they can actually not really. But yeah, I suppose we can add that as as a feature. But the first thing is to get the NFTs and the marketplace are ready, that so they can be purchased and used, and then we can if the community wants it again, it's not we're only going to do this. We're simply going to set the stage for the basics in quote, which are these utilities. Any other feature is going to be decided by the community through the Taisho. That's what it's designed for. So, but yeah, so I can't speak on that. But most likely, if people want that, they can just vote through the Taisho. Majority wins. Fair game.
Got it. I've also read about the Flame token. That Flame token will be exclusively used to purchase land in virtual world. I want to know how many land plots will you be selling and what
And what
factors will determine the price of the land in the VR world. I mean, will it depend on the land size or location as well?
Yeah, so the free market would determine that because it would be free to exchange on markets. But I guess from the free markets or rational agents perspective, the location would influence the land's value, the size, of course. Those are the two, I suppose, big factors. As for the number of tokens for Flame, we would have to think upon why we should, because it's going to be fixed, and there has to be a reason for the number. There's a reason for everything every design, but beyond BDS's stuff, which I came into. But I can't give you a number for that yet because we haven't decided as a team as to why we chose this number. But yeah, hope that answers it.
All right. And will players be able to construct or build on their land in the metaverse game?
Yeah, so you'd be able to set up if you purchase land, you'd be able to build up like a shop, for example, or store, sorry, like for better term, store for like sneakers, and somebody could enter this world enter this world as an avatar, and if by chance they find out your store, then they enter and they, it then sort of takes you into a real, like when you click on it, it brings out a nice real life a footage of the sneakers, and you can go through them. You pay with if you're going to purchase, you purchase them. You pay with your credit or debit cards or whatever. You put in your address. There's a way we would do it such that the store owners don't actually have access to your address as well. I think you can even do that. Well, we can talk to the dev team once we get there. But yeah, the idea is to simply, because most metaverse themed games, they're just like, you just like go in as an avatar, NFTs. Like there are no actual, there's no reason why people should go in there. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to merge online sort of purchasing, which is skyrocketing, and social media, and in some sense not necessarily gaming, because social media is going to be avatar based. You can see with Twitter PFPs now, nobody actually ever really uses the actual photographs, right? It's makes, or and some sort of NFT category. So that's going to be the the direction towards social media, and we're trying to sort of bridge this and connect it. We're trying to be the first in the space, and we're trying to make it a community owned, and it's some functioning decentralized economy.
Understood. So, moving to my next question, as you have three tokens, BDS, Flames, and Scales for your ecosystem, I want to understand, why did you decide to have three tokens for your ecosystem, as you could only have one token, and how will these three tokens going to support each other and benefit entire ecosystem as compared to only one token?
So it all comes back to the centralization of power, right? So if we had one token and we made a BDS, and BDS does everything that I've just said, then I just need to be a millionaire in IRL, right, and purchase BDS, and then I have control over this decentralized economy. So you see, there is a loophole, there's a back door in the design. If you design in such a way it's just one token, and somebody purchases that one token, and they're already rich or they're already wealthy IRL, and then they just have the same power in the decentralized world. So so we decided to split, give each token a specific functionality, such that you need to purchase those tokens to in some sense derive the utilities in that world in Doge. So that's one reason. I think that's the main reason, actually. It's that sort of centralization of the top holders have the power. And I'm not saying you won't have that with three tokens. You will. It's always going to be a thing. Bitcoin has that issue too. However, it's going to be less. It's going to be less intense as opposed to with one token.
Understood. Thank you so much. You answered my all questions so thoroughly. Thank you.
Thanks, Aisha.
Thank you for the questions, Aisha. So I was wondering, Kira, with you mentioned Summer Wars, which is an animated science fiction film, Japanese film. If you're looking at the P2E and the NFTs and the metaverse in the future, if you're a fan of anime, it's going to be around them themes.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be around those. If you watch Summer Wars, it's such a cool anime. I watched it. I'm like, my eyes just lit up. It was last year. So it's just this anime where this kid he's in this game world, right? I think it's called Oz, Welcome to Ozarks or something like that. Oz. Anyways, this is an entirely new, it's a functioning world. People go into work. So you're a programmer in IRL, you can go in as an avatar into Oz and actually work for a programming company remotely. It's no different from people who actually work remotely right now, right? So, and then what happens in this anime is you had, I believe, the decentralized world started affecting the real world. But the point is, yeah, it's just trying to bridge this in such a way that, you know, people don't lose their IRL lives. You still have your IRL lives, but it's much more connected, I suppose.
Awesome. Well, we know, like, we've got the code, don't know what's it called, the Chat GPT, and everyone's worried about AI in the future and taking over, and that's sort of in the Summer Wars film as well, a sadistic artificial intelligence. Another question.
Yeah, AI is taking over the world. That's definitely gonna. Well, in my opinion, that's a different story. But yeah, no. I suppose the possibility of integrating AI into, again, up to the community, is you know, I can see AI functioning in Docker too, as well as you know, doing basic, you know, mundane tasks. But yeah, no, I don't want to speak too much on that because I have very controversial ideas on AI. So leave it as that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know Elon Musk does as well. He's quite worried about it for the future and wants legislation to protect the human race, maybe when the robots take over. But let's go to another question. Western Beast, you had a question for Kira at Black Dragon Society. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Okay, I wanted asking about the events, second back on Seth's question. You said that there's an issue with the renounced smart contracts and some kind of fundamental change needs to be made. Will Black Dragon Society, when it grows larger, what possible approach would you use to make providing corrective maintenance towards smart contracts? Are you going to create a whole new one? Are you going to create another separate one alongside it?
Okay, so I guess the question is, assuming there is some sort of fundamental changes needed to be made to BDS, we're going to create a new smart contract? Short answer, no, there is never going to be a migration whatsoever. No new smart contracts for another BDS version 2 will ever be made. Unless, again, the community, which I doubt will ever, you know, will vote in the Taisho for, but I highly doubt that. But we would never, at least for speaking for the team, we're not even considering that. Now, to you asked, the second question was, would there be would we have to make a fundamental change? Would there be a situation where a fundamental change is needed such that? I don't think there would be, to be honest with you. I think every design, you know, engineers say, you have to make intelligent compromises when you design things. So every design would be made around that renounced, and it's not an issue. I think it's one of the reasons everyone's together as well. Every design would be made around that renounced property the smart contract has. So yeah, if the design can't be made out around that, then we won't consider it as a team.
All right, sounds good. I completely understand that. Okay, I wanted to ask in the next question, concerning the outsourcing that you're planning to outsource, how would you plan to provide payments to the developer team? Would you be paying them in BDS token, in stablecoin, or would you broker some kind of deal with the team that would develop it?
No, we're not paying anyone in BDS. We can't even do that because we don't even have, there's no team wallet, right? Unless we pay, unless I go off and I pay with my own BDS tokens. But no, what we would do is we would launch Flame and we would raise money in some stable coin, maybe preferably, I would say, you know, BUSD tethered to ERC. So, because I don't have confidence in USDT and USDC, given, you know, SBF's fiasco. But we would raise money, whatever the team decides. We would raise money in a stable coin, and we would engage a game development company specifically with specific, excuse me, with expertise in crypto-based blockchain gaming, which there's really no difference. And they most likely would have wallet that accepts payments in crypto in USDT. Most of these companies do. So we would pay them to those wallets. It's all recorded in the blockchain. However, we would always have invoices of payments as well. So these are ways we can go about.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so my next question is the fact that earlier you actually talked about requirements for the proposal, or rather, let me talk about your metaverse first. Are there plans to connect these businesses on the free to roam, or are there any other specific purposes that will generate profits that the metaverse can serve?
Yes, so that will be up to the community, you see. So because we don't want to, like, unless it's a necessary feature that the design must have, such that the system can't be, can't be taken advantage of. But ideally, are you asking if business owners would pay taxes to the Taisho? Is that what you're asking?
Well, yes. In fact, that's actually another question. My initial question is that on the metaverse, on the free to roam, can I advertise my business or service that I provide on the metaverse, your free to roam metaverse?
Oh yeah, if you purchase and you own the land, you can. Nobody's like it's a decentralized economy. Of course, there are rules. Like there will be like it's not a anything goes. Where there will be rules baked into the design such that you can't, much like the Taisho is designed, you can't or much like Bitcoin is designed, you can't do anything else, right? You kind of just have to go, along with the rules baked into the design. But there will be, but no, as long as you have, you've purchased land, you own the land, you can advertise whatever you choose on your land.
All right, Kira. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate the detailed answers you give to my questions. It's quite a wonderful project. I wish you guys the very best, and I hope that the Black Dragon Society project stays bullish forward. Over to you, Glenn.
Sweet, thanks.
Okay, thank you for the questions, Western Beast. I was just looking at your website actually, Kira, and you're trending on crypto.com, so that's great. So I can see this is sort of building up. You've got the free token ecosystem. It's a long-term plan, and you're going to have everyone voting along the way. So it's not like an overnight, like you say, like people want a 10x and then move on. If you want to get involved with a strong community and a vision and a plan for the future for Black Dragon Society's P2E and Metaverse, then that's I imagine how you're going. But can we just do a recap for anyone that's joined in the second half and missed the first half of the show about the Black Dragon Society project? Just do that for the community investors that came in late.
So the Black Dragon Society is a token launched December 6th. New team sort of took over about a few days, over 10 days ago. We've developed a new strategy towards branding and utility functionalities. The utilities are, we sort of divided the project into 3 stages. Kinuno Chen, which is financial wisdom, Kaiho, which is liberation, and Ante, which is stability. Kinuno Chen is a full focus on community engagement, development, and mind over matter philosophies, which we will start rolling out as well. The idea is to build a strong community such that once we launch these utilities, there are people to engage with them, but also there are people who would like to see the long-term value and flourishing of this. The second stage is Kaiho, which is where we would launch other the Taisho, which is a hybrid between a decentralized application and a DAO. And the Taisho is a DAO. It's a hybrid that accepts 4 proposals a year, meaning once every quarter. There are anchors, those who pass in proposals, and their voters, those who vote on proposals. And the last stage is anti-stability. This is where we build our decentralized economy, leveraging metaverse themed games and P2E games. There are 2 modes: the adventure mode, which is the P2E game, and the metaverse, which is the free to roam. We would launch 2 tokens at this. Well, 1 token first, and then the second. We launch Flames, used to purchase land in the metaverse game, used to create worlds, meaning build up your own stores, and then we would launch scales, used to purchase sustainability, another way of saying energy, that lasts you through the game as you progress through levels, and used to that's the main functionality of scales. And scales is inflationary by design. Flames is fixed. BDS is deflationary. BDS would be used to vote in the DICE show, and BDS would be used to purchase NFTs that you need to engage the metaverse world and the play-to-earn world. And that's the quick overview of BDS Society. We're looking to, if you feel like you're a contributor in any way, it's an open community. Literally, there are group chats I don't have access to because I have no business there. So that's how decentralized we are. It's simply not nobody has keys to all groups. So if you feel like you can contribute and you resonate with our vision and you sympathize, you can reach out to Big O, and he would speak to you, and we can move forward from there.
Okay, great, Kira. Yeah, I mean, we do have, we've done quite a few series on ChatGPT coming out, and that's the Aquarium show we have over on Twitter. So yeah, if you ever want to join that, and raise your hand, I'm sure Noah, who runs the show, there would be interested. Yeah, with your interest in artificial intelligence and the future and anything around them aspects also. So yeah, we're running out of time now, but Whalecoin talks for research and educational purposes. It's not financial advice, but you can check out the website, the white paper, the official socials, they're in our main chat. What we say to the community investors, yeah, check out the website. The white paper's not out yet, but there are some Medium articles you can read about the project, or you can go and ask the team. We can get you safely there because the official socials, yeah, they're in our main chat, as I've said. And yeah, so that's what we recommend. Do some research if you like it. You want to ask any more questions or get involved with the community, head over to their Telegram. That's mainly where they hang out. And it's been great speaking to you today, Kieran. Thank you very much for coming.
Sweet. Thanks for having me, Glenn, and thanks everyone for attending. Thanks for the support. Cheers, guys.
Okay, thank you, and take care. And I'll finish the record and send over a copy for you to share with your community, and I'll send that into our main chat for anyone who couldn't join the call today.